I'm on a date tonight, so I'll have to just looking good. No, I'll just do it in front of her, shouldn't I?
Going! He's kept going! He scored! Oh, Stockport pressure. And the header into the back of the net! Armstrong, played in again. And a superb goal! Johnny did it! Lisa! It's a cracker! Rose tries to get the ball in. Wilkinson! The ball in her! His first goal in 13 games. Towards Sars thinking he's going to score. Oh, Paddy Madden! It's a 5-star performance from Stockport County.
All right, we got a small house, a small house, but we got a big bloody heart, I tell you.
Decided that he doesn't have a personality, so instead he's going to get into Peaky Blinders. Hello and welcome to the highly anticipated 91st episode of SK3 TV, the show for the thinking county fan, provided that county fan's thinking Spurs away. Yeah, I'll have a bit of that. We are, of course, with you for the next hour or so with the first word on the week's county action, and once again, what a mixed week it's been. Joining me to discuss Bradford, Wigan, and God knows what else besides. Firstly, it's Dave. Hello, Dave.
Good evening, mate. You all right?
Yeah, Sunday night. Good, isn't it? Good to be back on a Sunday night after a week off.
Yeah, it is. Went to the lovely Blackpool Zoo today as well, which was extra special for a Sunday. So, a bumper Sunday today.
Yeah. I love the fact you've gone for like Blackpool Zoo and not Chester, like the hipster's choice, the hipster's zoo.
It's 30 quid cheaper, so yeah.
There we go. Yeah. Well, it's not hipster then, because hipsters, as we know, will quite happily pay double for something that. So it's probably the opposite. Also with us tonight is Will. Hello.
Hello, good to be back. Happy to be
Oh,
here.
good to see you. And big fan of. In fact, no, I'm not going to mention the print behind you because I want people to. We had a good discussion about whether to go with the background and that. I was like, no, I want people to recognise what that is on there. I mean, if you've not recognised it by now, Dave, it's not happening, mate. Sorry.
I haven't looked at it.
I saw it in there instantly. I was like, "Oh, that's that thing from that thing." Yes. Of course, we weren't here last week. Just the one near the knuckle anecdote from to tell you what I was doing last week. So I went to London for a little romantic Valentine's mini break on my own, and we were in Wetherspoons in Brixton before the gig on Saturday night. And you know them things that they give out on Freshers Week to girls, where it's like you put it on top of your drink to stop you getting spiked. It's like a Pringles lid type of thing. And there's this really old man sat on his own drinking, and he had one of them over his drink. But he was sat with the drink at the table with the lid on, and he kept taking the lid off to have a sip. And I just thought, you've got a high opinion of yourself, haven't you? Thinking people are going, oh, I must have him in whatever way, whether it's consensual or not. What a life! The world's gone mad. Should we do some admin? That was my weekend. That was my weekend last week when we had no game. So we'll crack some admin out, and then we've got loads to talk about. We've got the disappointment of Tuesday night at Bradford. We've got the sheer elation wrapped in jeopardy, wrapped in just a mental couple of hours that is something I'll be lobbying for every week from now until the end of the season. But first, in terms of administration encompassing the parish notices, SK3 TV is brought to you in association with the Blackbird Group, on the pans at Gorilla Manchester as Blackboard Kitchen, and on the fryers at Len's Chippy Droylsden. And as of this week, they're proud to announce the relaunch of Blackbird Burger. I've just had 2 roast dinners tonight, and now I'm starving again. Cheers, Andy. You can find all the links in the episode description, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on your podcast purveyor of choice. And speaking of which, if you're watching, don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube, and be sure to follow, rate, review, subscribe, do all that stuff wherever you get your audio speech content. And the equally important, if not more important, bit of admin is that Jonathan the Johnny Hatter is back on Thursday, fast becoming an essential listen from 7:30 till about 9ish on a Thursday evening. Get involved to help set the agenda on the show, and check out the link in our episode description with the little link tree thingy there. Any personal admin, Dave?
Personal admin. I mean,
how about because we've not discussed it on air yet, but you've taken your tentative. Not for you was our monthly text about how we're doing on Football Manager. You decided you wanted to go into it in a very real sense. Tell us about it, Dave, because we're going to get weekly updates on this as you slowly start to have a meltdown.
We are slowly. It's already happening. So, Stockport Dynamo's under-8s Lightning girls is the football team that I'm now managing. Lily Philbin, friend of the podcast, daughter of me, is number 9
Had to
for
clear
us.
that up.
And funnily enough, being number 9 yesterday, we won 9-2, and she scored all 9 goals. She's just handed me her Player of the Week trophy that she was awarded. I mean, I know I don't like giving it to Lily because I'm the manager. You shouldn't do it. I think if you're scoring 9 goals, you've got to get it, haven't you? Otherwise, it's just not fair.
Yeah. It's not exactly a nepo baby situation. Yeah, it really would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Like, he's lost the plot. If you'd given that award to anyone else, they'd have like a stained old bed sheet up on the fence at the training ground now,
out.
with like filming out, fraud. The opposite of whatever the opposite of the nepo shit is. That's what they'll accuse you of.
The opposite of Paul Simpson playing Jake Simpson at every club he's ever managed.
I was going. As soon as Dave mentioned it, I was going to mention Jake Simpson, and I thought, no, it's a broadly. If we'd lost yesterday, then we'd be doing an hour on Jake Simpson, both as a player and as a staff member. But we won. So what we'll do, we'll get Bradford out of the way first. Notwithstanding the fantastic car ride, fantastic company in the car ride. Won't call it a car ride again. That was a horrible use of words. Not so much. The journey back wasn't so fun. Rolling in at about 1 a.m. Thanks, M62 Roadworks. Was it the M62?
I think so. Yeah, let's say yes.
I'm not good with all that. I don't like it when I go somewhere and people say, "Oh, how did you get here?" So I don't know. Just sat in a passenger seat and I was here. I don't know. Oh, did you take the A515? I don't know what that means. Are you a paedophile? Not got a clue. But in between the fantastic journey beforehand and the fantastic journey, albeit delayed, on the way back, there was... I mean, I suppose the technical term is a game of football. A contender for the worst game I've seen in a long time, very short on quality. Would that be a fair assessment, Will?
Yes. Moving on.
Good, excellent, right, good.
Yeah. Valley Parade's great. That was my first ever trip to Bradford City's ground, and I think if they improved that away stand behind the goal just slightly, because we got there, we were a touch late, and the only space we could get was in the lower tier, and the views were abysmal.
Yeah,
it was not a comfortable stand to watch game of football in. But aside from that, stunning ground. I did find myself just sort of looking up at those two big stands, the other end and the...
I spent most of the game looking up at the two big stands, to be honest.
Yeah, I think I looked at those more than I looked at the football on the pitch, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
It was not a good game of football. My girlfriend has decided she no longer wants to do midweeks in Yorkshire.
She's absolutely correct.
Blame her. Yeah, I'm not sure I want to do midweeks in Yorkshire anymore. Doncaster was better, but still was. Oh, we've lost Dave.
He's gone. He's
completely lost Dave. Okay.
Doncaster was better. Bang.
He also doesn't want to do midweeks in Yorkshire, and bad time for everyone. What do I remember of the game? Honestly, not a whole huge amount. As soon as they scored, I knew it was us, even though I couldn't really see what happened.
Yeah.
I do remember at one point Malik Mothers, and I'm not getting involved in the whole debates around Malik Mothers ill. I've said my piece. I really, really want him to come good for us. Him getting outpaced at one point by Curtis Tilt was...
That was a worry.
Interesting. Like, that genuinely... They're both chasing down a ball. I don't think Tilt had a head start and Tilt got to the ball first. That stuck out for me. Sidibe falling over a lot. Scuffing one wide. It was just a bad day. I don't think anybody really had a good... Was there anyone that I was impressed with on Tuesday night in a Stockport County shirt? Odin Bailey.
No.
Odin
Yes,
Bailey, definitely.
Odin Bailey had like a 2 or 3 minute spell where it looked like he was just going to turn the game round on his own.
I thought he was going to win us the game just by himself. I genuinely, for about, it was 2 or 3 minutes, I thought, oh, hello.
Yeah. But what a 2 or 3 minutes it was. It was just, I thought all things were possible in that 2 minutes.
Yeah. What a man, what a guy. Yeah, superb. But just a really bleak experience from beginning to end, really. And
It feels like there's been a lot of them this season. Yes, very, very cold. Probably in my top 5 of the coldest I've ever been at a football ground. I might do a separate pod on that one day.
Apparently, I'm quite quiet. Apparently.
That's a first. Hey!
Words that have never been said about me before. I'll just try talking louder. I'm not on my usual setup here, so things, might not be as they once were. But
Going back to Malik Mothershill, where you just touched upon.
Yes.
He's always getting the grief, and people can't wait for him to make a mistake. But actually, on Tuesday, especially in the first half, he wasn't even bottom 5 worst players. He was one of the only ones who wanted to try and get us forward. He had a chance on goal, not a great strike, but I don't think I'd be very good at football I'm not. But if it was Malik Mothershill, I don't think I'd play overly well if every time I touched a ball there was groans of half and away end, just not wanting you to make a mistake. It just blows my mind.
Yeah.
I think my thing with him at the moment is I really appreciate the fact that he's not hiding. When he's on the pitch, he's not hiding. He wants the ball. He wants to try and make things happen. I really want it to work out for him with us, not just because he's cost us a lot of money, but he doesn't shy away. He doesn't hide. I think anybody who accuses him of being lazy is so far wide of the mark. The only reason I mentioned him in that moment is because it is that moment of him and Curtis Till is just one of those things that really stuck out for me in that game. Because honestly, I barely remember most of it. I barely remember it. It was a football match that happened. But that particular moment was one of those things that did stick in the mind, and it was just like, ugh.
Curtis Tilt did feel like almost a key figure in it, in that with clearly, obviously with the signings of Tanto and Sidibe, we can go back to actually worrying centre-backs like Tilt with just sheer pace and athleticism. And there were points where it did look like him and Sidibe were having a good old battle, where you weren't sure who was going to get the better of it. But then Sidibe got booked for something and nothing. And after that, he seemed to lose that edge. He seemed to not want to pressure him too much in case he got a second yellow. You'd think at that point, maybe would that be the point to switch things around a bit and get someone else bothering him? But that's one of my biggest frustrations in football, is when there's a defender, a centre-back who you can clearly see what their weakness is. And you do, if like fans with no coaching badges can see this, it blows my mind a lot of the time that, like, and this isn't just a reference to Dave Challoner. I'm talking about managers at the top level don't recognise this sort of thing. And it just blows my mind that you can be watching it in the stand and go, he's so slow. Just run at him. Just try and run him behind anything. And we just don't. I don't. It almost, the last 2 games have almost felt like our season summed up in terms of like all the little silly basic mistakes we've been making all season. We've made them in both of those 2 games. But at the same time, I mean, we'll get on to yesterday shortly. But at the same time, it seemed yesterday, some of our attacking play, we were putting crosses in. Shout out to Sam SCFC on Yellowboard, who's actually gone through all our goals this season and looked at where they're coming from. And I think it's about 70% have been scored from crosses. Yep. It's quite clearly a big part of Dave Challoner's game. When we're at our best, we're fantastic at it. And it almost felt like, as good as some of Jack Diamond's performances have been, coming off the left-hand side and playing in the pockets in the 10 and what have you, There was points. I mean, getting onto yesterday a bit early, but there was points yesterday, like in the latter stages, where Jack Diamond's role was get down the right, get to the byline, put a cross in, and it was refreshing because our crosses were because normally if we're putting a cross in, we've got the inverted wingers usually, so he's having to double back onto his right and then cross it in, and you're not going to get as much of a chance from that. It almost feels once again like we've done that thing where we might have stumbled on something, and I wouldn't be surprised, particularly given that Onyango is done with us now, until we inevitably sign him on a free in the summer, and then spend all of next season going, "Oh, I can't believe he's injured. Who could have seen this coming?" But yeah, it just seems that way. What do you reckon, Dave?
So, just on that point, Dave Challoner always says after a game when we lose, we want to be the same team at home as we are away. But that's in terms of how we approach the game. But it's just not true because we set up completely differently against Bradford as we do at home. So you've got to go and change your philosophy in certain areas when you go into a place like Bradford. But don't come out and insult the fans. And I love Challoner, by the way, so I'm not slagging him, but you clearly are setting up differently. I think we've just touched on the Onyango thing as well. This really sounds like a Challoner bashing, and it's not. He's not played for months. He's not even been integrated on. He's not come on as a sub. And then all of a sudden he starts at Port Vale. It's probably the worst pitch in the league. And then starts at Bradford, the second worst pitch in the league. And you're almost thinking, well, he's almost being set up to be injured there. But in answer to your question, yeah, playing people on the right who are right-footed to get crosses in, it doesn't. And also as a byproduct, Kyle Wharton's the top scorer in the league. All of this isn't by accident. It's just football in the 90s. Get it out to your wide man, cross it in, head it in. It's bloody beautiful. It's much better than playing out from the back.
It is so satisfying to watch, isn't it, when you see that. It's great, yeah. Of course, this being us, we won't do that again now. That'll be it. But I think there is a case to possibly say that Jack Diamond might end up playing at right wing back. He has done before. If we are trying, I suppose, to sort of assert ourselves on games, then having basically a pure winger at wing back could very much be a way to go. If we are looking at having a lot of the ball, then his lack of defending ability is less of an issue. But at the same time, he does have a tendency to shirk challenges, I think, and that's a good way to have the fans moaning and groaning every time you get on the ball if you do something like that. So is it worth going with? I don't know.
I think while he can sort of shy out of a challenge occasionally, I think his off the ball work is actually really good. And I think it's one of the reasons why even when things weren't coming off for him going forward, he was still starting every week. He was still getting picked ahead of other players, even though he was sort of a little out of form, because the stuff that he does out of possession is really valuable. And
I think that skill set, him having pace as well, helps with that, because there's no one else with that,
I think it's weird because it's almost what we were trying to do with Fevrier, and it almost feels like, well, why haven't we already tried to do that with Diamond? I mean, there were people who were comparing sort of Fevrier's crossing numbers with Diamond's crossing numbers as if they're playing in the same position. And it's like they've actually got quite similar skill sets in a lot of ways, but they were being used in different ways. Diamond was playing in that sort of that secondary line attacker position, that number 10, whereas Fevrier was used almost exclusively as a right wing back or a right winger, which is hilarious because when we signed him, we gave him the number 10 shirt and talked about trying to get him as close to the opposition box as possible. Less to say on his squad number at Charlton.
Do you remember when they did the little clip and there was a number 10 on his neck? As people said, that's Louis Barry.
Yeah, I do remember that. That was a very, very, very...
God, we go mental in transfer windows, don't we?
Yeah.
But genuinely got a sum of insanity.
I think he does. He definitely has the skill set that can make that work. I think especially with Dakers Cogley in behind him. because people talk a lot about back fives, back threes, back fours. We're so fluid in and out of possession that I think with Diamond's work rate off the ball, I think if we are looking to defend as a five, I'm much more confident with him defending than I am with Jadon Fevrier defending. And
yes,
so
I mean, I think my takeaway, if we don't see any more of Jadon Fevrier in a county shirt, because you'd imagine he'll most likely end up moving on in the summer now, we'll try and get our money back or whatever. I will forever... It'll be one of those things that I'll take to my grave with me. Like, one of my big regrets. One of them is that we never won an FA trophy, which I've been very vociferous about. Genuinely disgusting. Can't wait for us to win one when we sink back down and start from the bottom again. But the very fact that Jadon Fevrier is a inverted winger coming in off the right onto his left foot, we decided to play him as a right wing back, and at no point did we think, particularly given our struggles in that position at the start of this season, at no point did we think to try him at left wing back. Because he couldn't be any less effective there than he was at right wing back, let's be honest. It was just... I don't know. It's one of the many things I will never understand. And that's saying something, because there's a lot.
I do have a theory, but it's a bit cruel, so I don't want to say it on air. But I'll tell you about it later.
Lovely. We'll set up... If you want to donate to our Buy Me a Coffee, you can find that in the links, and I'll send you a DM with whatever it is that Will's about to tell us. God, I dread to think what that is. Is there anything else on Tuesday night before we move on? Go on, Dave.
Anthony Sarcevic should never, ever, ever be booed by any single Stockport County fan ever. Also, / Bradford fans, I'm talking to you. You will not find any Stockport County fan who said when he left, we don't want him anymore. We did want him. We offered him a contract. It wasn't long enough. So I want to nip that in the bud. Can't believe they thought it wasn't good enough. No one ever said that.
There's such a weird narrative around it, because the whole him not being good enough for League One thing, that was said by Bolton fans when we signed him. That's where that's come from. And then over the last, pretty much since he hit the ground running for Bradford when he signed, I can't believe Stockport fans said he's not good. Nobody said it! Stop it! Stop lying! Stop lying about things.
I'm sorry, you
it's
asking
just
football
so
fans
weird.
to stop lying on the internet?
Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, I've spent the day on football Twitter, and that's been upset. Yeah, what I thought we'd do before we get a random county non-league goal of the week as sourced by Chris Eaton, and then we'll move on to yesterday. But first, I thought, because we're 3 weeks on from the window closing now, so I thought we'd get some early verdicts on the players we've signed in that window. So, Josh Dacres-Cogley. Dave, talk to me about Josh Dacres-Cogley.
Exactly what we needed, exactly what we wanted. You see how much we miss him choosing out when he didn't play. Just gives a load of experience, a load of balance, forward and back. Obviously, his stupid red card we'll forgive him for, but I think he's really good. A great addition.
Yeah, absolutely. Genuinely, it's really nice to know that when the summer window comes round, where, let's be honest, we're going to see a lot of changes once again. It's nice to see that position's sorted. We're sorted at right back or right wing back, and also at right centre back in a 3. That's sorted next season. Now we can a big green tick next to that. Done. Well done, everybody. So loan signing.
It is sorted until he trips over a sprinkler in Pinter.
It is sorted until he trips over a sprinkler in Hungary. He'll trip over a sprinkler in Hungary.
Yeah, sorry, of course, we're going Hungary this year.
Just for a change.
Can I just throw something quick about Dacres-Cogley as well? It's another player that we've signed from Bolton, where I'm reading what Bolton fans are saying about him and thinking, what are they watching every week? because the player that I will say he does have a tendency to maybe be a little bit safe at times, but to read what Bolton fans were saying, it was like, oh, we're signing a duffer here, similar to when we brought Sars in. And I think he's brilliant. I completely agree with Dave. He's everything that we've been missing in that position.
Yeah. Interesting you said that about him being safe, because that was... I mean, so I had 3 people mention it to me last home game. Was the tweet that I posted about Corey O'Keefe back in like September that I've not deleted, because why would I? But I tweeted saying I really, really liked him, because at that point he was getting forward, he was getting past his man and trying to get to the byline and put a cross in. That stopped and he got safe. The same thing happened yesterday with Josh Dakers-Cogley until the Cheadle end. He had the ball in the right wing back position, just inside our half, and then he went to turn back and go to either Ben or one of the centre backs, and the groan that went up. I mean, I was watching from home on the stream, and from Uzbekistan on the stream, and that was audible from there. It was absolutely fine. I was like, yeah, you fucking tell him, because he just seems to have got into that being safe thing. It's, very weird. But yes, I think unanimously a fantastic signing. Quite possibly, I mean, if we achieve what we're looking to achieve this season, he may well go down as our best signing of the season, which would be a weird situation to have in a season where, if we were to get promoted, it'd be weird to have like a January signing be a signing of the season. But
Brad Hills.
Brad Hills would like a word. I was waiting,
I mean,
but yeah.
Well, that's it. Because he was here. Because he's with us last season. I think of him. I don't think of him as this. He's just beautiful. I'm not ready. We've got over half an hour to go. Let's not get onto Brad Hills yet, because getting warm. Is anyone else warm? Is anyone else a bit sweaty? Oh God. Right. Other January signings. Will Tanto.
I mean, I am the founder of the Tanto fan club. I was a member when he was at Sutton United. He's not got going yet. I worry about people expecting too much from him too quickly when he is a player who needs a run of games to get going. And I think where Sidibe is massively ahead of him, is Sidibe's been playing week in, week out.
Yeah.
I think his link-up play has improved a lot for 6 months at Charlton. Is he going to have a big impact? I hope so, because I love the man. But even if
you just went very Dave Challoner there, asking a question and answering it.
I've wanted to talk about this for a long time. I've done this for years. This is actually a thing, and it is a thing that you are trained to do. If ever you're doing interviews, the rhetorical question thing, it's the thing you're trained to do, and that's why Challoner started doing it, because it will have been included in one of his coaching courses. Like 100% it's been included in one of his coaching courses. But it is a rhetorical technique I've used since university. Genuinely. And now you've all caught me doing it, so I can't use it anymore.
You know, when Ferguson was bringing like the class of '92 through at United, he was big on the whole media training side of things, because obviously this was the start of the Premier League. It was quite clear that it was the media thing was going to be big in the league and stuff. So what they used to do with these young, like, the videos on YouTube of like the Neville brothers and Giggs and Beckham doing this. So they basically, someone will basically ask them just really embarrassing, awkward questions. It'll be like, "Oh, tell us about the first time you had sex," and stuff like that. And the players have to like not be like dickheads. They have to like be kind of magnanimous about these things and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, imagine that. I mean, that's another thing the wokes have taken from us. You won't get away with that nowadays. Disgusting, absolutely disgusting. Who else? I think. Do you think that's fair on Tanto? Because I think when he first signed, it took him a while to get going. When he finally got his chance last season, almost he needed regular game time to get going. Do you think that's fair? Would you say he's still going to offer us something this season? I think that's fair, isn't it?
I think he will, and I think he already has in fits and starts. He needs a goal. He definitely needs a goal. But again, I think that thing about his link-up play it's definitely better. When he's sort of behind Woods and picking up the ball and laying it off to people in better positions, that has definitely improved in his time away. I still don't think we're using him as in the way that we should be. I mean, I didn't see yesterday's game, but from what I've seen of highlights, it doesn't look like there was, and from what I've seen as playing in general, we're still not playing the pass for him to run onto. And that is the thing that will get him goals, is those through balls. And I'm hoping that Stokes can be the man to do that.
On to Josh Stokes then, a fantastic, a dream start, you could say, you know.
Dream start.
Won the cup game, scored in that, and then he's clearly come to us off the back of a bad injury. And now we're on to the managing minutes period on 3 weeks into February, which is a bit of a work. I thought he's a bit ineffectual possibly yesterday. He looked very frustrated at times yesterday, actually. Dave, what do you reckon, Josh Stokes? Happy with the start? Shall we just agree that we're not going to be signing him permanently? It seems that Bristol City have plans for him. I think because we've had enough of this with loan players, and we're going to have it again with loan players in the summer. Can we not have it with him?
I think if he didn't get his injury, he would be playing for Bristol City right now because he started the season with them. So we're just a stopgap for him to get some minutes if we stop managing them. But no, you can see how good he is. You know, he was good for Aldershot, and it pains me to say that because when people said when we played Aldershot we need to sign him, it did me head in because they'd only seen him play 2 games. Yeah. But now it's come true that he really is very good. But no, we're a much better team with him in it. You can see whenever he comes on the pitch that all he wants to do is get forward. He's comfortable with both feet. He'll play the pass. He'll have a shot. He's just. I think when you think about what Louis Barry was like when he first got here, just not afraid. I think that he's the same in that regard, mentality-wise.
That's exactly it. Yeah. Right. Who else do we have? I was going to leave Sidibe till last because I'm going to spend a good 45 minutes talking about him. Dacres Cogley, Stokes, Tanto, Roman Dixon, another one who, from the limited minutes he's had, you can see that there's something there, but also I feel like my fears are being realised because we've had 6 months of weirdly him being painted as the answer to our right wing back woes, despite having played about 60 odd minutes of men's football in his career, which is a weird one. And I think that really, really shows that he looked really good on the ball at times against Bradford, but you almost got that sense that he felt the pressure of being brought on to try and make something happen, and just kept overrunning the ball. There'd be some lovely bits of play, lovely bits of movement to get himself some space, and then he'd just almost try and do too much. But at the same time, we were attacking and trying to get an equaliser, and at no point was he caught out defensively or anything. Would you say that's a good sign, Dave?
Yeah, I think he gave away a few cheap fouls, but in my mind,
who doesn't?
I'm thinking of him as a 25-year-old lad who's got loads of experience. I just forget that he's so young and he's not played so much football. So, yeah, he can only improve. My only worry is because Dacres Cogley has started so well. Where are his minutes going to come from?
That's it. I mean, it's in terms of where players are getting minutes from. Will, when it comes to the Football League trophy, obviously that's a competition. This time last year, Dave Challoner was complaining that we've been knocked out because he had players coming to him wanting to play, and then we were on a good run of form in the league, so they weren't going to get game time that way. So that was an avenue of game time. But now with us being 90 minutes from Wembley, Will, do you think he'll still get game time, or do you think we are going to go, especially with the way the fixtures are falling around these cup games? Do you think he's going to get the game time there, or is he just going to be limited to substitute appearances now?
I think the Doncaster game is going to have to be one where we do bring in some of those players with fewer minutes, not least because of the Saturday Tuesday, Thursday possibly this season.
God, it's like 96, 97. Oh no, that was Saturday, Monday, Thursday, wasn't it?
Something ridiculous like that. Yeah, yeah. I think there has to be some of those sort of. You'd expect Mothershill to start a game like that when you wouldn't necessarily expect him to start the next game in the league. You'd expect Stokes to be rested. You'd expect Tadai to start instead of Ben. But we do have to take it seriously. Having said that, you would hope that whatever team we put out will give Doncaster a game. This is a team that we've been able to take 6 points off in the league. I back us to do well there. My worry with Roman Dixon is he's technically been at the club since the summer. He was registered with the squad for the first half of the season, and he didn't make a single appearance. Was he on the bench yesterday, or is he out injured again?
No, it wasn't.
Is he actually going to get those minutes because we can't fit? Is he not going to get the minutes because we can't fit him in, or is he not going to get the minutes because he can't get fit? And even with Josh Stokes, I'm so glad we signed Josh Stokes, and from his first couple of appearances, I was talking about the fact we finally replaced Will Collar, but he's come in with an issue with the way that his foot has healed after surgery. And it's swelling, and it's just like we're having to cut a hole in his boot to get him through games. And I'm just like, what is our obsession with signing players with injuries? I don't understand it. It makes no sense.
I'm going to clip this bit up, and I'll use that when Onyango signs in the summer. That's the tweet sorted. Welcome, Tyler.
They'll have turmeric shots well through them by then, so it'll be all good.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, just wait there 1 second. So I've been meaning to try these for a while.
Oh no. I've just had a curry, so I've had my turmeric already.
So the other week, I was on got the tram from Heaton Park to Manchester on the way back from Mrs. Nick SK3TV's house. And they were giving out these ginger shots in Piccadilly Gardens. Now, I've not tried one yet. I've got about 8 of them in the fridge. So I thought, as a little live thing, health and all that, it might inspire. If this inspires one person to have a look at themselves and think, you know what, I will go on a quest for self-improvement, then it's all been worth it. I mean, it smells like ginger. It's not the turmeric one. I thought I'd start with the ginger one.
Work your way
and
up
then
to the turmeric.
See how that goes, and then I'll just be drinking my own cum in a fortnight because I'm assuming that's the trajectory that these. I mean, once like it's like drugs. It's like how like they say like drugs are like you have like gateway drugs and stuff, and then you get onto like coke, and then it'll be like, oh, it's not doing enough for me, and then you get onto crack, and then at a point you're like, oh, crack's not doing enough for me. It's like, oh, heroin it is. I'm going to inject heroin into my widgie. That sort of thing. So, cheers, lads.
You picked the wrong pot up, didn't you?
It's the cat food.
Oh my God. I mean, that's ginger. Ginger is like an acceptable flavour. You can have ginger biscuits. You can drink ginger beer. So that's an acceptable flavour. Turmeric goes in curries. It's part of a curry. It's not the curry. Oh, those poor footballers having to... Oh my God, I feel sick. I'm actually willingly drinking Budweiser to take the taste away. Imagine that. Those 10 Budweisers that I paid £2 for at Christmas are only just getting open now. That says it all, doesn't it? Oh my... That is genuinely one of the most harrowing experiences in my life. Oh, that's the worst thing I've had in my mouth since my car ride with Will on Tuesday night. I'll be quite honest with you. Oh, should I do the other one? No, stop that. Right, we're done. Right, last one of the Oh, I actually feel sick. Right. Let's just rattle through this last 19 minutes. There was football yesterday. We won. It was good. Cheers. We'll see you next week.
About Sidibe.
Actually, we all want to talk about Sidibe because he's got everything that I love in a footballer. There's an element of chaos. He's got that thing where 1 minute you think he's just the greatest footballer I've seen in my life. And then 2 minutes later, you think he's like a competition winner. It's mental. It reminds me of the first. So I've been to watch Man United once in my life. It was when David Moyes was manager, and I think they'd lost 2-0 away to Olympiacos in the Champions League knockouts. And I went to the second leg at home, and they won 3-0. I think Robin van Persie scored a hat-trick, but I came away from that game convinced that Danny Welbeck was the answer to all questions, football and non-football. I just thought that is the best play. I came away saying that was the best footballer I'd ever seen in the flesh. I was like, that's the best player I've seen in the flesh. I went to watch England in a friendly right before Euro '96, and then I was coming away saying like,
Percy score a hat trick.
Yeah, but but who made the space for him? Will it was Danny Welbeck. I don't think he knew he was making the space. he was just running around aimlessly. And that's the vibe I get with Sidibe. Because I feel sorry for these, like... I mean, obviously, Cheadle Heath Nomads is... I mean, they're in... They're Saturday football. They're not Sunday League. They are Saturday football. They're in the pyramid and everything. But imagine being a defender playing for their opposition and having him running at you for 90 minutes at that level. You think, what have I done to deserve this? He's absolutely frightening. And I think what I like about him the most is his just general willingness and eagerness. He'll chase everything down. He's got a ridiculous leap on him for a lad who is, 6 foot at most?
I think
It's
he might be
bonkers.
shorter than me, but I might have dreamt that. I'm sure I read something about him being
Weird dream.
shorter than me. Not the weirdest we've discussed today.
My mate Paul said, because I'm not going to steal this, he said when he watches Sidibe play, it's like he's playing his last ever game of football. So he wants to enjoy it that much and get everything he possibly can out of it. But every week, he just... What interests me is when he first played, was it Blackpool where he came on? Challoner said he'd run after crisp packets, chase crisp packets. And then yesterday he said, we're going to have to refine it a bit. So we'll give it a few weeks, lads, and it's going to be really refined.
Back to Ben.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I think we were going the safe route again. Like, refined it. So you just, it's like, I can't go that way. I'm going to pass it back to Ben.
But you almost don't want to... Do you feel that there's an element of, with him being a latecomer to the game, with him, he's 27, and obviously the move to Scotland was a big break for him and everything, but this is on a whole different level where he is now. Do you think it's almost the Jamie Vardy thing of like having to make up for lost time? And I think, like saying there, Dave, Paul's absolutely spot on with that. It genuinely feels like it's in his head that he's like, right, it's taken me this long to get here. I could break my leg. I could do my ligaments tomorrow and never play again. He just leaves absolutely everything out there. And that worries me slightly, the talk of refining it.
Yeah.
Because that's when you find out just how much of a footballing intellect he has. Whether he can take it on board, refine it without losing that from his game. That's very important, I think.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
To sum up, Adama Sidibe is the best thing to ever happen to this football club. I think.
His trend, if it ever gets going, will be the best thing to ever happen to this football club.
Yes, but it's not going to get going because people are trying to
Why?
make the tequila one happen.
Really?
Yeah, it's happened. It was terrible. Everyone just went home wanting to die. It was just very unimaginative.
Adama Sidibe. It's there. It's
The
so
work
good.
is done.
It is.
The work
and it's
is
actually,
done. It's
unlike most of the chants we've had recently, there's more than just names changed, words changed to his name. It's face, pace. It's a whole nother word.
Yeah.
It's only one letter, but it counts.
Yes, yeah. Yeah. It does. Right. Yeah. Right, let's have courtesy of our friend Chris Eaton. It's a random county non-league goal of the week. I'd go as far as to say, I don't know. Yeah, so it's something that has been discussed in recent weeks, not only in general amongst the fan base, but on here. I'm just killing time while the video imports. Don't worry. What's the deal with airline food, eh? No, so it's what this. Obviously, taking the promotions out of it, I'd say it's a contender for the best moment in non-league ever that we suffered through. So I'm not even gonna tell you what it is. We'll just play it and you'll know when it's from.
Duxbury in a hurry. Finds Turnbull. Back to Duxbury. Immediately closed down by Benny Igihon. Plays it up to Jimmy Ball. Laid off to Warburton, who's in a deep lying position at the moment. Warburton. Here's Stevenson down the left wing, yet to make a real impact on the game since coming off the bench. Won't get a shot away here. Stevenson, it's opened up for him on the left side of the box. Bundling his way through the challenges. Duxbury's cross towards Oswell. It's there! Turned in from 3 yards out by Matty Warburton, who leaps into the Cheadle end to celebrate what could be a massive goal for County. In the live league table, the Hatters are in the playoffs. Warburton in dreamland. County lead 1-0, and the negative tactics of Boston United have come back to haunt them. It's County 1, Boston 0 with 4.5 to play. I'll tell you what, Warburton's going to get booked here for celebrating, and yet he's taken no action of the goalkeeper. Shambolic refereeing.
What more needs to be said about that? That was fantastic. The state of the pitch there, though, I wonder if... I mean, the reason Chris has picked Matty Warburton is because he both scored and ended up in goal this week, which is most delightfully... He'd be last on my list of players. I've done a live show thing with him. He's tiny.
Yeah, he is tiny.
Well, I watched the interview with him that they did, because I am sad like that. He's just come back from an injury and he wasn't going to get through the game. So when the keeper got sent off or injured, whatever it was, he volunteered himself so we could get a full game in. Otherwise, he wouldn't have.
That's
What
genius.
a lad.
But yeah,
What an absolute
because
lad.
it went to a penalty shootout, didn't it? And didn't he score the first penalty, save 2 of theirs, and one of theirs hit the bar or something ridiculous like that?
Yeah.
And they were good saves as well. He got distance on them.
Yeah, it wasn't even like it was terrible penalties. They were decent penalties. All it takes is for him to go the
get
wrong
him in
way.
as the number 2 next year.
Yeah.
Oh,
That'll
the
go down
return
well.
of Neil Edwards. Oh, yeah, glorious.
Oh, God. But thank you to Chris Eaton for sourcing that for us, both this week and every week. Right. I think what we should do is get on to yesterday. Genuinely wild. So Dave, first things first, reaction to the lineup when that was announced. Obviously, there were changes. Obviously, off the back of Tyler Onyango getting injured on Tuesday, he was out. What were the thoughts in the? I mean, I don't want the general thoughts in the courtyard, but the thoughts about the team selection in the courtyard would be nice.
I mean, I was happy with it. Tuesday night that was ones where questions were asked, but then I got 10 out of 11, so it was quite what I expected it to be. I was happy that we had the spine back, we had some balance back across the back line, and the only question mark I had, and unfortunately it kind of came through, was Lewis Bates just not fit enough yet to be starting games of football. I saw that on Tuesday, and unfortunately saw that yesterday. I think Odin Bailey should be really disappointed that he's been the fall guy.
I feel
for
so
me,
sorry for Odin Bailey.
He's one of our most important players this season. People won't want to hear that, but he absolutely is.
Yeah. But he always has. He's always come up in the big moments for us. Look at the goals he scored in the League Two promotion season. Vital match-winning goals when we looked dead and buried. Yep. And then he's had to wait so long for a shot. I mean, the assumption would be that he's one of the players that Dave Challoner kept mentioning, saying, "Oh, these players are knocking on my door, asking why they're not playing." He must have been one of them, and he's one of the few that does actually take his chance.
Yeah.
And it's. I mean, we've spoken about this millions of times before, but the very fact that he does try to make things happen means that more often than not, something he does won't come off, and that he will be subject to moans and groans, and doesn't let it affect him. It's like he manages to just block out the noise and get on with it. Because it's unfair that he's coming on as a substitute at the moment. It really is. He should be starting. I mean, he's the fact that he was same with Callum Connolly last season. He was like the first one to be dropped despite playing well, and it seems to be Odin Bailey this season. But he just offers something. He can get the ball with his back to goal. He can get it in tight spaces. He can move with it, and he's always trying to pass it forward as well, which is something we don't really have in that midfield. I think Norwood and Bate do like a sideways pass. I mean, no, I'm not saying it can't be a progressive pass when it's sideways, but at the same time, it's not the sort of thing that's going to get the fans on side and the fans going when you're passing it sideways, even if it is the right thing to do. So to have a player like Odin Bailey who is going to try things, and it's weird considering he's mid-20s now, he does almost have that rawness, I suppose. I don't know if it's something to do with like the football upbringing he had, or just who he was playing with, or the positions he was playing in, but he does seem to have a bit of rawness about him. But he can channel it in the right way. Similar to Sidibe, I'd say. There's definitely a rawness to him, but he channels it well. But I really, really feel sorry for Odin Bailey this season. And it's highly possible he'll move on in the summer. I think his contract's up this summer, so he'll move on. But what a job he's doing of getting himself either a new contract with us or most likely a good move elsewhere.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. But the fact that he came on against Bradford and played such a part in making it at least look like we might be able to rescue something from that game, to then be dropped to the bench, and it does feel almost like, oh well, Bates fit, so we have to start him. He's the captain, so we have to start him. And I just think he's not there yet. Now, I have my own personal question marks around Bate anyway, but I accept that I'm in a minority. I'm probably wrong. I don't see it, but let's say for the sake of a...
Well, there's at least one person on here right now who agrees with you, so...
Oh, that's good.
It's two.
Cool. Maybe I'm...
Right, we're changing the title of this podcast.
But let's say that he is as good as a lot of people seem to think he is, and I want to clarify all of that by saying he is a good technical footballer. His close control is very good. He can play a pass. Cool, great. Their first goal, because while I didn't get to see the game, I have seen the highlights, started with Dakis Cogley pushing up. He had a great pass on for the advanced ball forward, played it safe, went back to Bate. Bates then got a pass on ahead of him and instead decides to go to Norwood, going, let's get Norwood to be the one to spray the pass forward and to create things. And I just think that goal has stemmed from us being sloppy in the middle of the park. And a lot of that will come from Bate not being fit yet and us deciding, oh, he's captain, we have to play him. And I think a part of it is Bate will choose that sideways pass over a riskier forward pass, even though, in my opinion, when you're being pressed by a team, and who did we play yesterday? Wigan came out of the traps, pressing us. They were harrying us. We needed to get that ball further forward at that point and not, as Shallen has alluded to in a couple of his recent interviews, not sit with almost 5 centre-backs, with Bate and Norwood both almost occupying the same space as Pye and Hills and Dakis Cogley. And it is exactly the same. I rewatched the MK Dons 5-0 highlights recently. one of our goals came from Bate choosing the safe option of a sideways pass.
Very similar, yeah.
Just inside their half, and we scored from it.
But he bossed that game, remember?
That blows
how
my
you
mind.
boss a game that you lose 5-0 is beyond me. But
Insane.
Really...
And it's not just like I've only seen one person saying that Lewis Bate bossed that game. It's in the double figures. The number of people who said that Lewis Bate bossed a game that his team lost 5-0.
They were 3-0 down at half time.
Yeah.
The first 20 or 25 minutes of that game, it did feel a bit like, oh shit, it's just a matter of time before they score here. But once we got that first, they weren't in that game. There was only one team going to win that game. So if somebody said he bossed the first 20, 25 minutes of that game, I wouldn't be as bothered by it. That's
And didn't Odin Bailey score in that game as well?
Yes, he did. He got the 5th. Yeah. Love Odin.
Not as important as some of his goals, but it still contributed to the goal difference. So,
He did more bossing than Lewis Bate did, though, clearly.
yeah. So,
Anyway.
on to yesterday. I mean, before we get on to the county, I mean, obviously we went a goal down very early on, so it's only fitting to start with that. Joe Taylor, if I was a Huddersfield fan and we missed out on the playoffs, I'd be furious. Be genuinely, really, really miffed, because that is a striker right there. Right, movement, fantastic. Superb finishing. Apart from when he had chance to complete his hat-trick and decided to do, I don't know what he was deciding to do. It was so weird. But he gave it out to Cheadle when he scored. That game yesterday, I'm struggling to... We'll get Ben Walker and Chris Eaton on this. I'll put it out as a tweet, I think. In terms of a county match that had absolutely everything, I'm struggling to think of many other. I mean, two red cards, coming from behind twice to win. I don't know. It's up. It's got to be up there, surely.
2 goals in stoppage time to win it.
And 2 in the opening 5 as well.
Yeah. 3 goals in the first 15 minutes.
I mean, if you had that on your over 2.5 goals bet,
I was at work and a show had just finished and we were starting to take things apart, and I was sort of going, oh, it's 1-0, oh, it's 1-0, oh, it's 2-1, and people were like, how long's left? And I'm like, 75 minutes, like it's the whole game still to go. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, it's all right, I'm just gonna move this light now. Yeah,
it's great when people say to you like, oh, what score is it? And you say, oh, 2-1, and then they like look at the watch, like, what?
Yeah,
what time is
that's
kickoff?
literally what was happening. It's like, is it 4 o'clock already? What's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminded me of Plymouth, the famous Plymouth home game in 96-97, where they'd had the midweek meeting over a cup of tea where home truths came out and everything, and then I think we were 3 up in like 10 15 minutes, something like that. I think Jim scored twice. Yeah.
Wasn't
Bruce Grobbelaar.
for them as well?
No, Bruce Grobbelaar.
That was it. Yeah.
Who I even remember, like, I was 9 at the time. I remember even back then, like, him getting loads of shit, and then me assuming it was because he used to play for Liverpool, and then my uncle telling me about like the whole like backhanders thing and him being done for like match fixing and stuff like that. I was like, oh, okay, that'll be an element of it. I think Peter Shilton also played against us either that season or the one before. We had something about like elderly legendary goalkeepers playing against us. What a time! But yeah, it did almost feel like that
Tim
Plymouth
Flowers
game.
And he was awful.
Yeah, Tim Flowers, when he'd had his hadn't he had an operation and he could only dive one way.
What was it 13 in 4 he conceded or something ridiculous?
Yeah. There was the 4-0 to Millwall, I think, was his debut. Oh, no, I think it was a 2-0 on the Saturday and then the 4-0 to Millwall on the Tuesday, if I remember rightly. And it's
Saturday, Tuesday.
Saturday, Tuesday. But yeah, to be fair though, you've got obviously we had the talk of the the Wigan new manager bounce. They beat Luton on Wednesday night, and then you think, well, that's the new manager bounce done with now. They'll revert to type, and eventually they did. But I mean, to be fair to them, they put up a fight. They gave us a bit of a shock.
Yeah.
Would it be fair though, Dave, to say that the win? I don't think the 2-goal cushion sort of flattered us. I think it was fair given the way, particularly the second half went. Dave, what do you reckon?
Yeah, although they'd be disappointed to only have scored 2 in the first half, I think.
Yeah.
Based on exactly what you just said. First of all, take any of our mistakes away from it. But to Taylor to do what he did for the first goal, where he got the ball from, the composure that he showed, it was an unbelievable finish. And so was a header. Maybe he shouldn't have won it, but did we deserve to win 4-2? Probably. I think so many times this season we've played well in the first half and crap in the second half. It's been refreshing now to actually not do well in the first half and then go for it second half.
Yeah.
There's just something special shooting towards the Cheadle end when you're chasing something or going for something. Yeah. I'm really pleased for Kyle Wotton as well. I just think, not just yesterday, just this whole season how it's going for him. Just a big one of them to all the people, isn't it?
Well, they'll be back soon. I do think with Wotton, even before his goals yesterday, it felt like it was one of his best performances for us. He was actually getting... There was a point where he was getting dragged down. He was getting his shirt pulled for about 10 yards while running. And the ref really didn't want to give it. The ref didn't give it until, like, Wotton was down on the floor. Their defender was down on the floor. And the ref just thought, well, they're both down. We might as well just stop it. But he really didn't want to give it. And it was the most obvious foul I've ever seen on Kyle Wotton. And that's saying something considering how many we have every week. But his all-round performance yesterday, I would say, even without the goals, was his best for us. And but these people who slag him off, they will be back. There'll be a point where he'll miss what someone who's never played professional football in their life before deems an easy chance. You know, they'll call it an easy chance, and then you'll watch it back, and he'll be going up for a header while having his shirt pulled and facing the other way to the ball, and say, "Oh, he should have scored that." What do you want? What do you want?
I've got a Kyle Wotton question for you both. Now, obviously, Kyle Wotton and Brad Hills have both been phenomenal this year. How does Kyle Wotton win the League Player of the Month, but not the Stockport County Player of the Month?
Because people are thick, Dave. Have we not cleared that up? Done. Nailed it.
They have both been classed, though, haven't they, to be fair?
Yeah.
They absolutely have. I was a bit worried with Hills at the start of the season because he seems to have a bit of a shaky start. But then as soon as we moved him into... Basically had him as the replacement for Horsfall at the centre of the 3, which I think people thought is where he should be anyway. Yeah. And then, I mean, that's, again, tick, another position sorted. Another position next season, we've got our first choice there. We've got...
a 5-year contract, I believe.
He won't be able for that 5 years. He'll be in the Prem by then.
God, no. Yeah. With us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we'll put a relegation release clause in, so he can have his Conference League season with us, and then we'll drop, and then he'll get a move elsewhere. Sorted. Yeah, the old Taylor Harwood Bellis scenario. Speaking of Taylor Harwood Bellis, did you see Roy Keane talking on a podcast last week, saying it's embarrassing getting one cap for your country? Because that's basically the manager saying, "Oh, let's have a look at you," and then looking at you and thinking, "Yeah, I don't like what I see. I'm not picking you again." Roy Keane's son-in-law is Taylor Harwood Bellis. One cap, one goal. He's in the David Nugent club.
One of them, innit?
Fantastic.
Got a different manager now.
Yeah.
Was it Carsley? Was it Carsley he played for?
Yes, because it was the game against Ireland, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he scored, like, was it the 4th or the 5th or something? Yeah. It's interesting to see that Brad Hills has seemingly overtaken Ethan Pye in the in our list of players who are going to make it to the Premier League before we do.
Yeah.
But I think that when he was first with us on loan last season, the theory was that he was going to end up in Norwich's first team.
Yeah.
And that was just a matter of time. And I think that's the other
It
thing
seemed that way in pre-season as well. He was playing for him in pre-season. Then he went and signed like 4 centre-backs. It's like, oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah. I could definitely see him getting moved to the Prem at some point. I mean, is he younger than Pi? He is, isn't he? It's like 21.
Yeah,
Good question.
21.
I'm pretty sure he's younger than Ethan.
Talking of players' ages, it's good to see from Twitter in the week that Shea Gardner is still 16 in some people's heads.
I mean, he looks it in any picture of him you will ever see, ever.
It's like the thing with that Yamal who plays for Spain. It's like, oh, he's only 17. Like, no, he's not anymore. He's not anymore.
24.
He was. He's not anymore. Yeah. He's 37.
He's got grandkids.
Retired. Yeah. Well, it's almost a very tired cliche, but once again we can wheel out the whole. Well, that's the sign of champions. That's the sign of champions, like, you know, being under the cosh. That's okay, not champions. That's the sign of a team that's gonna be successful. On the champions thing. Before we wrap up, then. So after Tuesday night, the prevailing thought, including from myself, was that automatics were done. And given, so people have conflated the two things. People are saying, well, just because we've spent money doesn't mean we've got an automatic right to finish in the top 2. It's like, no, but for it to be like February going into March and for our chances of going up automatically be slim, that's pretty poor. So that was my thought process from when I was like planning stuff for tonight. That was my thought process all the way from about 10 p.m. Tuesday night to about 4:30, 5 o'clock yesterday. And then suddenly, yesterday's game finished. I thought, well, I'll have a look at flash scores. I'm looking and thinking, right, we've got a game in hand on Lincoln. We win that, and then we go there and win. We're only 6 points behind Lincoln, and it started again.
Lincoln,
that's it now.
They're not the team we need to catch. Lincoln are going to win the league.
Cardiff.
We need to catch.
They
Cardiff.
are going to win the league. Yes. And what a momentous wobble for all the talk of Cardiff are having a wobble, like, you know, getting
They've
battered
lost
by
one
Plymouth.
game.
Yeah, hopefully it's the start of a wobble, but nobody. I mean, Dave Challoner doesn't seem to have given up on automatics. Although, to be fair, if he came out and said, "Yeah, it's February, it's automatics done, playoffs it is now," then he should be sacked.
Listening to his interviews, it sounds like he's given up on it. He's really leaning into he said at the start of the season, people think we have this divine right because we finished third last season, we deserve to finish second next season.
No, we have a divine right to finish second because we've finished higher than the previous season for the last God knows how many years. That's why.
I've got a question based on this exact thing.
No, you've asked me this question before, and unfortunately, it's a no from me. But
I've not asked the general public.
You're right.
We finished third last year. Let's suggest when we're only 1 point off where we were last year right now. So we could very realistically get more points than last year, but finish third still, or finish fourth. Does getting more points than last year equal progression, even though we might finish in a lower position than we did last season?
See, I think that is the best question that's been posed by anyone ever. It genuinely feels like you've kicked off this feature, which I'll have a jingle for next week, by the way. But it feels like you've kicked it off with like an actually impossible question that there's no right answer to. If we are on, I think Ian Dowden's called it in the comments.
I have a nuanced one for this, but
If we win the playoffs, but I don't know if we were to. I mean, controversially, I'd rather finish 7th and miss out on the playoffs than lose in the playoffs again.
That's not controversial.
Is it? Is it
That's
not?
not controversial.
I think mentally, there's no better way to win promotion, but there's also no worse way to lose it. God,
Although
two
I was
absolute
over-
sound bites in a minute. I'm off.
Yeah, I've sorted the trailer out.
I was over Carlisle very quickly.
Until
Oh, I
I say
was
these
being
two
very
words
nice
to
to
you,
them on the train.
Akil, right,
Yeah.
and now you're not over it again anymore.
No,
I've not watched that back. I don't know how good a chance that was. I've not watched. I don't know.
At the time, but it was still. He should have. That should have been 2-0.
Matt Bryan over in Florida says technically, if we get to the playoff final, it's an improvement.
So
Yeah,
it is progression if we get to the playoffs. If we get to the playoff final, it is progression if we go up via a win at Wembley. However,
it's progression if we get to the playoffs and get a competent referee.
The thing that we have going for us at the moment, this finishing higher every season, it's league position. If we finish third and win the playoffs, that run is over.
There's always an
Yeah.
asterisk when we want one.
For me, it's the run's over.
Yeah,
If we don't
yeah.
finish top two, the run's over. Which is why I've been saying for a while I wish we'd finish sixth last season. Plus, we'd have then had the second leg at Brisbane Road, and when we have a competent officials, we always win. Actually, no, we wouldn't have played. We wouldn't have played Orient in the.
No, it wouldn't have been Orient. No.
No, it would have been one of the other teams.
Oh no. Yeah, it
I'm
depends.
saying if all the other
if
positions
you're
are the
swapping
same, because Charlton finished below us, didn't they?
It would have been
Us,
Charlton, wouldn't it?
Wickham, yeah. So it would have been us, Charlton, if we'd finished sixth, and everything else stays the same. So yeah.
Oh, we could have had Charlton, and it could have been like, right, the winner gets to buy Malik Mothersill.
Or the loser.
Gets to buy
Ooh,
that.
no, I love Mothersill. That's what it is.
I'm sorry, Malik.
You've got to give the people what they want, Dave. You just have to sometimes, mate. You'll learn this on here. Right, anything else on? So the red cards, yesterday.
Oh yeah.
So for me, the first one was just brainless. It was like Dacres Cogley the other week. Just
Exactly
stupid.
like Dacres Cogley.
When
Yeah.
it was exactly the same as that. For Gary Caldwell to say that it was our fans and players that got him sent off, when I don't think anyone in the ground realised it was the player who'd already been booked. It didn't seem from watching that anyone... There was no chance of off or anything. There was just nothing. So it was almost a surprise. Dave, the second one, what do you reckon?
There's no question in my mind whatsoever. The red card. Who was our player who had the ball? Diamond.
Diamond, yeah.
He was running towards his own goal. You've got no reason to go and tackle him the way that you did. You've got the dugouts just there. You're off the ground. It's unsafe. Red card. Absolutely no question. Caldwell
He's-
blamed the pitch when on his interview he's got a beautiful green carpet just behind him.
That's
So you're not blaming the
hilarious.
pitch.
If I was Liam Cash, I'd be like, fuck off. I mean, if I was Liam Cash, I'd be saying fuck off to the 10 players who all decided to do knee slides as well. And that takes us back nicely to the random county non-league goal of the week that we played halfway through the show. Because the state of the pitch there, do you reckon Matty Warburton will have watched the highlights of yesterday, seen the knee slides and thought, oh, I wish I could have done that?
Yeah.
God, I wish I got a carpet to do knee slides on. I've always wanted to do that, a knee slide. Getting back for Ben's testimonial.
Yeah.
Just for
Let him do
a
some
knee
knee slides
slide.
at the G-Land.
A knee slide testimonial I'm in. Yeah, I'm fully up for that.
Tell you who did do a good knee slide. Me, Exeter away.
Famously. That was a big turning point for you, that wasn't it?
Yeah. It made me realise I was a little bit overweight. So I lost some weight, started running. And now I'm loving life. Now I'm a whole new man.
Well,
Drinking
we don't
Rubicon
want you
with
to-
0 grams of fat in. Available at all good retailers.
Rubicon, good
And
old
takeaways
Rubicon.
that we had tonight.
But yeah, I was gonna say that's a takeaway drink. I don't think you buy Rubicon from anywhere but a takeaway. Oh God. Right. You first, Dave. Anything else on yesterday?
No, I don't think so. I just think no, I don't have anything else on yesterday. I think we covered it all.
Will, how about you?
I believe the first yellow card was for a foul on Kyle Wootton.
Wonders never cease.
But at the start of the season, I think it was about 7 or 8 games in, Wootton was on more fouls given for him.
Yeah.
Free kicks won.
I was counting
games. He was on something like he'd had like 12 free kicks and we played 8 games.
I had a tally chart at one point, and I said at the time that it was one of those new refereeing directives that would be abandoned by October. And once again, I was correct.
Yeah.
I love it when I'm right. I try not to.
There is one more thing. The referee won their goalkeeper 18 times, or probably not 18, probably 10 times to stop time wasting on his goal kicks, and he didn't book him. Book him the first time, and he's not going to do it again. I thought he was going to book him in the 90th minute, but it was too late by then, Sam Tickle, because we were winning 3-2. So
it's like, I'm sure it's like, I mean, when there's these new refereeing directives, we always hear about them. They make a big thing about it, like this is the new thing.
12 minutes of stoppage time.
It's not happened. There must be a directive that says you can't book a keeper for time wasting unless you pass the 90th minute. Because I don't. It's just easy. It saves so much. It saves you having, as a referee, it saves you having 10,000 people counting at you every time the keeper has the ball. Like, we all just want to go to work and not be bothered by dickheads. So why can't the referees just say, right, well, if I do this, that's one thing. I mean, I'll get shouted at for my general ineptitude and walliness, but at the same time, that's one avenue of nonsense that have headed off. I don't get why they don't. Considering a lot of the referees were quite clearly bullied at school, they don't get petty enough sometimes.
No, they don't. Apart from Bradford.
Jonathan the Geordie Hatter has said the thing that I was going to say, which is if you book them early, you're then at risk of being put in a position where you might have to send a goalkeeper off for time wasting. Which, to be honest with you, I think they should be sent off. Like,
literally the whole point of the disciplinary system in football.
But
he's right.
However,
Geordie Hatter is right.
Yeah, and that's exactly the thing that I was going to say. But it's the whole thing of a second yellow card. There's this idea that it should be a higher threshold than a first yellow. And I think with the second yellow yesterday, if that's the first yellow card that player receives, I don't think anybody questions it. He's pulled him back. The guy was sort of, Stokes is trying to get beyond the box. It's a yellow card. But because it's the second yellow card, people seem to think that it should be more, and actually it's not. It's still just a yellow card offence.
Yeah.
I've seen Wigan fans talking about, we only committed 2 fouls and got 2 yellow cards. There were 2 fouls that were yellow card offences. That's how it works.
The issue is, though, in terms of this talk about sending keepers off for a second yellow for time wasting. Imagine, I mean, I think we mentioned on the last show 2 weeks ago about, I think we were chatting to Liam, Dave, about goalkeepers wasting time and what can be done, all these loopholes that get found. Well, that'd be another loophole. If the goalkeeper gets sent off, you would have your sub-goalkeeper in the dugout being told to sit there looking oblivious until the referee comes over, and then he'll take ages getting his gloves on. He'll run off down the touchline and do a little warm-up. So even then, that's a loophole. We've already found the loophole. We've already done it for. I should edit that out just in case anyone watches it. We don't want them thinking of that on their own.
Someone from FIFA is watching this programme for advice.
Or Infantino's too busy up Trump's arse, isn't he? Absolute lunatic. At least Sepp Blatter, when he was a wrong-un, he was like a mafia don wrong-un. He was like, yeah, I'm killing people. I'm a wrong-un. What are you going to do about it? But Infantino's just like a snake. Oh, it's horrible.
Just for the avoidance of doubt, SK3 TV does not believe that Sepp Blatter has killed anybody. Right?
He's killed a lot of people's love of football.
Sure.
He's killed a lot of people's faith in the powers that be. Before that, there was no corruption from the powers that be at all. There was absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
No, nothing. So we move on this week to Burton on... I mean, we don't want to get... In fact, Dave, I definitely don't want to get into the is this game a must-win conversation, because...
No, it's not now. It's too late for that. Bradford was a must-win. We didn't win it. We can win it if you want. We're just, in my mind now, we're just getting playoffs. It's not a must-win. The time of must-wins is finished. If anyone doesn't know, it's because Des Hinks said Bradford wasn't a must-win. Wasn't a must-win. Anyway.
I mean, I'd say at the very least it was certainly a must not lose. If we,
Yep.
but then again, there's twists and turns. I'm just going to refrain from having any opinions because it's just quite easy to get proven wrong. Yeah, I knew as soon as I said it, that bollocks. That's not happening. Oh, right. So we will be back next week, looking back at Burton. And what's happening next Saturday?
Stevenage. Is it Stevenage?
St.
Yeah,
Stevenage.
St. Evanage. Yeah, I believe you're right. Yeah.
Away.
And then the big semi-final on the following Tuesday.
No, we've got an empty Saturday soon as well, don't we? Because Mansfield are pricks.
The jammy bastards.
Kyle Noyle doing Kyle Noyle things.
God, if we got Arsenal at home in the cup, I'd be one of them who's like outside the ground behind the barriers waiting for their bus to turn up. I'd be shouting all sorts. I'd get really personal with Arteta. I'm gonna kill your kids. I'd be getting done for like a public order offence or something. I'd be one of that. I'd be in the news, like in court, getting fined like £550 for a public order offence, and it'd be worse. I'd lose my job. I'd be like, no, I got to tell like Mikel Arteta what I think of him. I'll tell him he's not got a cock.
I felt terrible yesterday because after 20 minutes, I shouted, "Get him off!" about Lewis Bate, and here you are saying things like this on a podcast. So actually, I don't feel bad at all anymore.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not surprised you waited until 20 minutes, to be honest. Right, so we'll be back from 8 o'clock next week. Keep an eye on our socials over the next week or two because me and Dave have got a big episode planned with a very special guest. We're just getting
It was messaged me whilst we've been on air, by the way. So excellent.
I'll say what? Saying what? Oh, I'm just watching, and I don't think it's for me. Fuck off and don't bother me again.
I've got no willy.
Oh, he's definitely got a willy. Right. Or she. So, we will be back next week. We'll be back next week from 8 p.m. We'll see you then. Thank you so much to everyone who's tuned in. Thank you to everyone who's got involved in the comments. Thursday night, don't forget to tune in to Geordie Hatter's show. Lots of great tunes, lots of big match build-up. And, of course, if you get involved with the poll in the days beforehand, you can help set the conversation, set the agenda, and, more importantly, set the playlist. Dave, say goodbye to all the lovely people.
Goodbye, all lovely people.
Will, say goodbye to the not-so-lovely people.
Goodbye, not so lovely people.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. See you next week.